Welcome back. All right, so before I get back into the land of hockey and do a hockey video for all the hockey stuff going on in hockey land, I want to talk about the World Cup. I want to talk about the last couple of days. You guys knew eventually I'd get to the whiteboard, right? The first 2 days, there wasn't really a need. Now there is. We've seen some shocking results. This is not the way the table was supposed to look for these teams. We were not supposed to see Argentina at the bottom. We weren't supposed to see Germany outside of the top two. And I think this gives a good idea of the difficulties that lay ahead for these teams. So yesterday we saw Saudi Arabia pull off a huge upset over Argentina. It's all about not necessarily getting most chances, but making the most of your chances. So Saudi Arabia sits at the top of that group because we got a scoreless draw between Mexico and Poland. So that puts Mexico and Poland in that spot. Plus, it now means Argentina is going to likely need to win both games. Right? They can't afford another loss. They're done, but they really need 6 points out of those two games because it's 3 points for a win. Then we get into France beating Australia, so they're at the top of their group with that win over Australia because Tunisia and Denmark had a scoreless draw in their game. And this is where people who are like, "Hey, let me find out about these soccer games, football games, and how great they are," and you find out there's scoreless draws, there's ties, these things happen. But the reality is this is just setting things up for when we get to that round of 16 and the top two teams in each group end up getting into that. So today we saw Morocco tie Croatia. That was a 0-0 draw as well, meaning the winner of Belgium versus Canada would lead the group. And Canada really felt that this was a great opportunity for them, and they played like it. They played their hearts out. They end up losing the game 1-0 against the Belgians. And the debate coming out of this game is whether or not Alphonso Davies should have been the one taking the penalty shot in the first half. I understand the desire to have somebody else taking that penalty shot and the ideas of what if. Canada played very well, deserved at least a point, but they don't get it. And that's the thing. There are teams that lost who outplayed their opposition. It does happen. And in this case, Belgium is the number 2 ranked team in the world. It's not bad to lose against them. So that's what happened there. And then, of course, we come back over to this group. Japan shocking the Germans, beating them 2-1. So that is an absolute stunner. But Japan, much like Saudi Arabia, these are countries that if you don't bring your A game or if you let up a little bit, they are capable of pulling off an upset. And then Spain just destroyed Costa Rica, 7-0. Spain looking like the real deal, much like the English did against the Iranians. And so we'll see how things go going from here. Tomorrow, we finish things out here. We've got Switzerland and Cameroon against each other. I'll be rooting for Cameroon, but it's on at 2 o'clock in the morning my time, so I'm not going to be up. Uruguay is against South Korea. That should be a fun one. I would prefer Uruguay to win that, but you know what? South Korea is a plucky bunch, too, that are capable of winning here and there. Portugal versus Ghana. Portugal has to win that. Portugal still stinging, I think, from other tournaments that they've lost in and wanting to get that World Cup victory. I think there's a lot of pressure on Portugal. Whether or not that means that maybe Ghana is able to pull off an upset if Portugal starts to really panic. If we reach the second half and it's a scoreless draw, we'll see. Brazil versus Serbia should be a fantastic game. That should be absolute top-notch. So Brazil's in the last matchup of teams that have yet to play. And so, yeah, at that point, then we reset on Friday. We get Wales and Iran. This is Wales' best chance for a win. It is their best chance for a win because I don't think they'll beat England. That being said, they will definitely put up quite a fight against England. But if they can beat Iran, and then if England beats the U.S., they're in pretty good shape, right? So Qatar versus Senegal will happen as well. This might be Qatar's best chance for a point as well. Senegal coming off the loss against Ecuador. We have Netherlands against Ecuador. So the two teams that won are against each other. So Netherlands gets a win, and they're in the round of 16. Just that simple. And they could run the table in their group and enter the round of 16 with some confidence, which with Netherlands is needed. This is a team that has been waiting a long time for a World Cup victory. At least that final World Cup victory. You know, that the final, and it just hasn't happened for them as of yet. England and USA is on later. I do intend on Friday to watch England versus USA in its entirety, and I will be rooting for the English. Being completely honest here, I've always cheered for England on the international stage, and we're here again, and that's what I intend to do. But that being said, I do think that tomorrow, the Friday games where we get the second game for these teams are going to give a really good idea for who's likely to be those round of 16 teams, and we may even see a team or two clinch at that point as well. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.